What's up, guys? How y'all doing today? It's a hot day down here in Texas. It's a brutal one. We're almost done with the summer, though. I don't know if wherever you're from, if you know about 100+ days for like 60 days in a row. It definitely gets to you. You just got to be by the water, though. Hopefully. Working outside in the summer, it's pretty rough. I did construction for a while, years ago. Roofs at that. Oh, God. Glad I don't do that anymore. Well, anyway, enough about me and roofing. Crypto markets are getting a little juice today. Lots of green everywhere. I'm sure everyone is pretty excited about that. It's been pretty nice for unless you were short, then you're probably kind of pissed right now. But hey, you know, can't be right all the time, right? All right, I'm actually going to a crypto meetup here later tonight in town, so I'm gonna try to kind of go a little faster than this. Maybe it'll get a little fire into my ass. See if I can breeze through this instead of chatting so much. All right, let's go to live screen and get it in. Charlie Lee says he won't buy back Litecoins at all due to his conflict of interest. What? Charlie Lee, you crazy, man. Why are you so crazy? And if there's anyone tuned in right now, feel free to ask some questions. I'll be happy to answer them. Or if you want to look at a ticker or something when we get to charts, just put it in the chat box and we will go check it out. So anyway, Charlie Lee, he doesn't have any plans to buy back any Litecoins after selling in December. I'm sure you all know he sold right at the top. Just a couple things. He says, it's a bizarre thing to say owning the asset you create is a conflict of interest, which it is bizarre. That's like Walt Disney, like saying Walt Disney shouldn't have owned Disney stock or Steve Jobs shouldn't have owned Apple stock. If the founder doesn't own any, why should I? So what is he like? Like Charlie Lee's crazy, man. I don't get his tweets and interviews sometimes. Like, what the hell is that? He's like, oh, I don't know. Why would you own it? I don't own any. Whatever. He's a silly guy. So he says, there'll always be doubt on whether any of my actions were to further my own personal wealth above the success of Litecoin and cryptocurrency in general. He's just like leaving it open-ended. He's like, you figure it out. Alright, whatever. Cool, Charlie Lee. Way to go. But, yeah, pretty... I don't know if funny is the right word, but... damn you, Charlie! Alright, this is pretty cool. Almost half of the world's top universities offer cryptocurrency or blockchain courses. 42% of the world's top 50 offer at least one course in this realm. Let's see, where is it? Here we go. The first NYU course on cryptocurrencies was offered in 2014 and enrolled with only 35 students. It's still pretty good for way back then, you know, it's like way less people in the space. Spring semester of this year, that same class saw 230 people in there. So that's pretty nice. Little 8x'er there or so. Not bad. It's growing. I do like that almost half of the top universities in the world are getting into this. That's cool. Start teaching some people. We know Bitmain's trying to do that too here in Texas in their facility. They're working with local schools to offer classes in blockchain action. So pretty damn nice to see. Let's see. Survey also found 26% of students want to take a course, just period, and 18% of college students already own cryptocurrency. Look at that, guys. Millennial coin, I guess is kind of what crypto is right now. I'm a millennial myself, although I am on the latter end of those. I grew up still in analog world. We barely got that first big-ass Apple colored computer. Had like kid pics on it and Oregon Trail and stuff. Some of y'all out there know what I'm talking about. Alright, so yeah, pretty interesting. Almost a fifth of all college students own some crypto. That's pretty cool. That makes sense that that's where the highest volume is in there. It's definitely not 20% of our parents, that's for sure. This is pretty wild. A professor at the International Business at Duke University named Campbell Harvey said, if you're graduating from law school, it's a tough market these days. However, the law students that are trained in blockchain, they don't need to apply anywhere. People are just asking them to join their firms. Ooh. Ooh. Demand much? Yeah, the cryptocurrency sector is, I mean, if you're a dev or in certain business applications and building, man, dude, they're like, bring it on. Please come over here. We get it now. You know, 2 or 3 years ago, they were like, nah, get out of my face. Y'all are stupid. And now they're like, okay, we got this. World Bank's in it, making the Bondi, or the Bondi. I'm going to call it the Bondi. So it's the first bond on the blockchain. Super cool. Yeah, I mean, as I keep talking about in these videos, there's always an article that's showing, like, underlying stuff is growing. So, and this is just yet another one. The Pomp Index. Anthony Pompliano. It's got to be Italian, right? Over at Morgan Creek Digital Assets, a notable security token advocate announced that he's going to launch a digital asset index fund, a cryptocurrency investment vehicle targeting institutional investors. They're partnering with Bitwise to make this. It will hold about 10 cryptocurrencies weighted by market cap, just like a standard index would be. Some of it's interesting. The author points out here it has Bitcoin. Here's the list, if you can see. Bam, right here in the middle. And it gives the weight. Obviously, Bitcoin has the highest weight at about 70%. Ethereum's at 15. Bitcoin Cash is at 5. And then, you know, it goes down from there. EOS is at 3, so it's over Litecoin. Oh, poor Charlie. Charlie coin. No, not anymore because he left. He abandoned his baby, man. So this is kind of wild, though. Ripple is not in this list, if you didn't notice. But Omis Go is. Albeit it's only 0.2%. It's not very much, but OMG. I don't know if I've seen that. You could almost say, OMG, you're on an index. One of my buddies first brought up OMG a while ago, and he really liked it. It seems like a pretty legit project. I'm not sure, though. We'll see what happens. And they will charge a 2% management fee with a $50,000 minimum investment. Pretty cool. Cool stuff. Way to go, Pomp. Get it in. More and more of these indexes are popping up. All right, Lloyds of London makes a quiet entrance into the crypto insurance market. So this has been talking about a lot here is the crypto insurance market is going to grow substantially. Insurance companies love to underwrite things and assess risk to make more money, so you just pay them premiums. So now they're like, wait, we're going to do some crypto through some of our lower branches and connecting companies and subsidiaries. Let's do that. So Kingdom Trust, a qualified custodian of some 30 cryptocurrencies and tokens, is enhancing its safekeeping services with insurance coverage for theft and loss due to natural disaster, courtesy of underwriters in the Lloyds market. So they are going through Kingdom Trust, but being underwritten through Lloyds. I guess they don't want to put their name all the way out there yet. They will soon, I'm sure. But this is pretty good. Just more big boys getting into the space. There's about 10 syndicates in Lloyds have indicated willingness and are somewhat active in evaluating this exposure, crypto exposure. This guy says, though, of those 10, only about half of them have the level of expertise that allows them to be comfortable enough to do the analysis and underwriting the risk. So, again, this is very new. AIG mentioned it too recently about starting to underwrite for crypto. More fundamentals are growing, ladies and gentlemen. Keep that in mind. All right, let's just go ahead and get into some markets. So no, that's what everybody really wants to see. So global market cap right now, we've passed that 225 area we were looking for. We are at about 232 right now, as you can see. So that's a really good sign. That tells me we might be making it run up to the 250s. That's going to be our hard resistance there. And volume is slowly picking up, so we do have participation in this rally. So that is nice. Dominance has fallen slightly, although it's only about 0.5%, so not a real big deal. Let's see. Let's look at the general market. Everything is up today, at least in the mid-single digits. You got a couple big movers. IOTA, Dash is up. I believe that was up because people were talking about in Venezuela using it instead of like Petro or alongside the Petro, which is funny. Yeah, Dash is nice. We talked about that a little bit yesterday. Bitcoin's up. Yeah, pretty much everything is looking fairly good today. Let's go ahead and jump in and look at the Bitcoin. Some price action here. Let's start on the daily. So we did, as we discussed yesterday, we finally closed. Let's go ahead and delete that box. We finally closed outside of this green box that we've been in forever. All right. We are trending up this line here. We're keeping the momentum. It's even accelerating slightly. We are really close to that mid 7,000s target now. I cannot imagine that we won't hit it. It's this momentum. Let's look at the volume. Yeah, volume's picking up pretty substantially today. Although I would like to see it above average, and we only have about 50 minutes left before the daily closes. Although this daily does look pretty damn healthy. So we're clear above 50 on RSI, and the bulls are taking the momentum over on DMI as well, as the bears are starting to fall into the weak zone, which is below the mid-teens, below 16 roughly. Here's the 4 hour. Looking real nice on the 4 hour. There's no divergences yet. Everything is pretty textbook for a good rally. Like I said, I can't imagine we won't go to mid-sevens now. So that is pretty nice. The hour is starting to have some bears creep in. So we might have a little pullback here. Maybe come down to the 21 or possibly even the 50. Maybe come back and test like 69 to 7,000 would be in the cards pretty good. I will look to add to some of my paper longs there. I did clear off all my paper leverage positions at 7,100, you know, just because it's had a nice run, and I just wanted to take some of those gains off, just to manage them winners, guys. It's really important. You can always just buy back in when it goes above or when it goes a little bit below, right? But if you never take off and manage your profits, then you never are making no money, and that's not a good thing in trading. All right, so can we get up into this red box again and test? Absolutely we can, but do realize that we do, not only are we coming up on the longer term exponential here, the red line, the box, and we do have a trend line cross that is formed here at 7,300, so that's going to be pretty hard to get past the 7,300 area, so do keep an eye out for that. That's going to be a good target at the moment. All right, so we actually did, just real quick, let me see, nope, that hour was only down to like 70.30, which could be enough if this bulls are in here real good. I'm curious to see what the night brings, especially overnight session, to see if any of this follows through with some Asia and Europe being like, oh crap, we better FOMO in, guys. Let's check out ETH, see if they're participating. Oh, look at that, ETH's coming about to break out the box that we've got on here. We drew way back over here. It's been bouncing in between that. We did adjust it after this candle and then this one, just because, you know, we got new information, so we had price being accepted in these ranges. On the daily, the DMI is getting fairly close to losing its momentum, the bears that is, as the bulls have come up pretty substantially. We still are below the 50 though on ETH, so it is lagging still quite a bit, although it has been participating a little more than it has been in the Bitcoin rallies in the past. But yeah, I'd like to see ETH, let's get over 300 on that daily. That would be a really good sign. I'd really like to see that before the close today. Come on, it's only $5 away. That would be a really good look. Let's see here again. 4 hour looks all right. Hourly looks good. You can see on the hourly too, on the DMI down here. As I sometimes, if you like to watch the lower time frames, I don't go personally below an hour, but an hour is good enough for me to see if that momentum is continuing. And I've mentioned before on the DMI, if you watch it bounce above this like mid-20s, 25, 26 area, you usually can stay in a long position, as the bulls do have control. Let's look at the 850. Still neutral on the 850, but it is about to go bullish on RSI, so that's a good sign, but still showing slight relative weakness. All right, let's go to the Litecoin. Litecoin has been participating in this a lot, this rally, so that is a really good sign. It has not participated. Litecoin has been showing a lot of weakness in the last week or so, relatively to the other, you know, to other coins in the market, mainly Bitcoin, because that is Big Mama. But we have consolidated really nice. We've been talking about how the bears, since this day back here, were getting their momentum was stalling like pretty hardcore, and they've been battling neutral longer than most coins were, especially Ethereum. So that was a good sign. Looks like Litecoin is getting some serious legs right here. I would be shocked if we cannot come up here and test this mid part of this channel. And let me zoom out a little bit so you can see that better. We are looking at, this is a little trade that setup that we put on right here using the profit tool just to give you visuals and help you kind of, you know, manage your risk properly. So here you go, it's playing out fairly nicely, and this is something like if you have a trade on like this and it goes into the profits, you might want to move your stop up, right? So now, like, let's say you could move this box up to here, and now this isn't even going to be red anymore because you took out, we talked about this a little bit yesterday. Please check out my other videos. I timestamp all of them so you can kind of go to exactly what you want. And if anyone in the chat has any questions or wants to look at a ticker, please feel free to put that in the chat box. So yeah, now you can adjust this and put it to where you don't have any risk. And if you're wrong, and let's say, I'm not saying to put it here. Again, this is just educational purposes. You kind of put it wherever you're tolerant to risk is. So like this is something that I would do if I was in that position. I would adjust this, take that risk out, and stop pretty much right about here in this consolidation. And now you have kind of a free position, so to speak, a position that has no risk anymore. So then you can sleep really good with those. But you have to go in here and manage this shit. You can't just sit here and buy it and hodl forever. Like, that just isn't going to work in the long run. Because there's going to be a time you need to cash out, or maybe you're just emotionally distraught, broke up with your girlfriend, who knows what happens, your boyfriend, whatever happens, and it might make you make bad decisions. It's better to learn how to manage the risk over time and take deltas off the table continuously and manage your winners and manage losers as well. But no one talks about managing winners. They just say, let them run, man, the trend's your friend. That traditionally isn't going to work for 99% of people in the market, especially if you don't have a lot of money. Now, if you have like hundreds of thousands or over $1 million, then you can I would say that a little bit differently, because you do need to sit back. You can collect dividends on larger stocks and maybe sell premium against it via options, etc. So that's a little bit different. But most people in the average traditional markets, the average account size is less than $50,000, guys. So most people are not trading with that kind of money. All right. So Litecoin's looking good. There's no divergences yet or anything. So the trend is definitely up. Let's go check out the Rips. Good old Ripple, everyone's favorite coin. We are getting some higher than average volume today. So that's going to print definitely for today when we close here in about 30-40 minutes. So that's a good sign. This is another setup that we had right here with a nice risk to reward. You're pretty much already at 1-to-1 with this. And again, guys, you can go ahead and ratchet this up. You know, you can take this part out and maybe put your stop right underneath this candle at like 33 cents. Now you're in a risk-free trade. Boom. Bada bing. It's good stuff. Or you can take it off. Maybe you just, you're happy with this little 10%, 15% move. Maybe you did really big leverage or something like that. When you are leveraged, you do need to be more conservative, because you're leveraged, so you're trading a lot more money than you have. So in effect, you're like trading, how could you say that? Like, this says don't risk more than you can afford to lose. Trading leverage, if you get too big, you inherently are doing that. It's like built into that product. So a good back of the hand rule of thumb that I like to use is don't go over about 30% of your allowable margin, and that should give you enough cushion. Now, this doesn't count for like something like 50x or 100x. I do not think that anyone should be trading on those. That is dangerous. I think 10x is a nice sweet spot. All right. And then, like, of course, use that 30% kind of rule. It works out pretty well. All right, let's go see if we have any divergences on the lower time frames or anything. No, looking pretty good. Got above 70 on the RSI. No, that doesn't mean it's overbought and going to go down. That means that bulls are just finally getting some strength. If you would have thought that over here, you'd be like, well, yeah, I was right. See, it went from 36 to down here. But look, then it consolidated, and now we're back above 70. So was it oversold? That just means it has strength. As we've talked about RSI before, I'll just go over it really fast. If you go to a week or two videos, the videos from a week or two ago, I go into some details about the RSI, but it doesn't mean that it's oversold. You want it to kind of stay above like this 40 range, and if it can stay above 40 after getting to overbought, sorry, I meant overbought on that one, then you still are carrying that momentum forward. And that's why RSI is kind of a little bit tougher to use. That's why I prefer DMI, because it doesn't get, and with these lines that I have on there, the 10, the 16, and the 26, but pretty much real fast between 16 and 26 is like a neutral zone. Anything below 16 is weak. Anything above 26 is showing lots of power. And when you're below 10, then you're getting into like the super weak. Maybe think of it as like oversold, even though I really hate those terms. So maybe let me rephrase that. It's they're cornered. The bears or the bulls might be cornered, so they can spring back kind of fast. So you do need to be cautioned for that. But right now, bulls are firmly in control at the moment, especially if we can clear this 36, 37 area on the rips. Man, yeah, that'll be nice. All right, let's go to EOS. That one's been getting some love. We've been talking about that the last week. We've been talking about 480. You can see I had a little stop warning right here at 460. We were talking 480 was good support, but again, everybody sees the same movie, so I like to go down a little further so I don't get shook out, which happens still, but not as often as I used to give me a little bit outside the box view. As you can see, it only on this candle right here would have that got shook, and that also depends where you entered at. So 480 was a great consolidation area. Now we passed over this middle trend line and the third exponential here. So this is looking really good. EOS, I do like that project a lot, despite there's a lot of hate against Dan Larimer for some reason. But that guy makes, you know, he's building products. So, and EOS has the potential to be something that definitely competes with the, wow, look, as we're talking here, we're breaking over 6. Very nice. And you can trade this on leverage in a lot of places. BitMEX, pretty much most of the top ones, Bitfinex. I don't know if Polo still does leverage. I haven't traded on there in a long time, but I know that they used to. So this is good. Volume's following through. Let's look at it on the daily. Oh yeah, we're just now getting over, like if this daily closes right here, which it very likely will, considering it's only about 40, nope, not even, a little less than 40 minutes away. So yeah, we will be over the 26 level. That'll be good. That'll be nice. So we're probably going to a run to this top of this channel here, about $7, let's say. Let's go look in the hour, see if we have any. No, it's been showing strength since this big candle on the 26th, so nothing's really changed yet. Bears are suppressed like a mofo, so that's looking good for EOS. All right, let's go look at Dash since we were talking about that earlier and the whole thing with the Venezuela action. We'll go dollar. Dash dollar. Woo, wowza. So Dash is showing some people some mad love here. We are coming up on formidable resistance at the 55 EMA though, so do be wary of that. It did just pop up, and this was very news-based. I believe it was Venezuela news why this was popping. So sometimes when you got stuff like that and it's popping because of news, I don't like those rallies as much as just organic, where it's like more like it's slower, where this doesn't just go crazy, where it's kind of more like this, right? Like that's better to me than these moves. All right, so do be a little cautious of Dash since that was a news bit. Let's see if we can see any divergences on the lower time frames. Oh wow, I don't have the lines drawn on here. If you need to add horizontals real quick on your chart, you can just do Alt-H if you don't know. Now you know. All right, there you go. So we are looking super strong, but again, look how the I was just talking about DMI below 5 is very rare. That does not happen very often. So that means they are backed into the corner, whichever it is, the bulls or the bears, right? Red or green. You can look back here when it was really low at around 5. The bulls are back in the corner and they sprung out pretty hard. Now, that doesn't mean that the trend reverses, right? I'm just saying that you will have to be cautious of these big pops like that to one of these other trend lines is usually the ones you can kind of mark as targets when you start seeing that. So do be cautious of the Dash. I am definitely not getting long Dash right here. I will tell you that much. All right, let's look at lumens. We haven't looked at lumens in a while, or stellar. It's a little bit of both. Stellar's looking good. Kind of just been chopping, been kind of quiet, really. I would love to see it break out of here. I do not have a position in here. The last time I talked about it, I was waiting for it to clear this box on a daily, preferably above like 24.5 to 25, and that would be a really good look for Stellar, especially since its big brother Ripple is breaking out. So this usually follows it later. So I will be keeping a very close eye on Stellar over the next 48 hours or so. So And also, again, anyone listening right now, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask them. Or if you want to look at a ticker before I sign off here in a bit, please put that in there. I will definitely check it out before we go. Real quick to traditional markets. I know some people don't care about those. I think they're important. I think trading all markets is good. Here you go. We are breaking out to new highs. We were watching this on Sunday night, and it was like, oh, if we got follow through in the morning, then it's a good low risk entry to get long. It ended up playing out fairly well. And to be frank, the S&P needed to catch up anyway, because here's the Nasdaq. And let me take off some of this mess. There we go. Here's the Nasdaq, and the Nasdaq was already breaking out way and consolidating over new highs, right? So it was already showing lots of strength. S&P was showing weak relative strength. Now it's catching up, so that's a good sign. Russell is the Russell 2000. If you're not familiar with that, that is small caps. It was in the similar position as the Nasdaq. So S&P is playing catch up. That's good. It was kind of obvious, I would say. The only thing now that needs to get up there is the Dow. The Dow Industrial is being kind of a little bitch right now. It needs to pick up the pace and get up here. Now, if we can get this one to close above all-time highs, then that would be awesome for like a nice little rally, because I'm sure on all news networks we will get, oh my gosh, everything's breaking out to new highs. You got to go all in here, guys. It's amazing. And then that's when we'll probably likely have just a quick little sell-off. Nothing really big. I'm not bearish on equities until we close way below these levels. Like, for example, on this chart, until like 23,000. So that's kind of my stance on that. Let's go over to oil. I don't know if y'all like to trade oil. I love trading oil. It is two-way action constantly. And it is in an interesting spot right here. We've been in this trend channel since December, and we did a fake out break, and now we came back into it. I think the risk to reward here is really good, and it's really good in almost either way that you wanted to play it, even if you wanted to be short or if you wanted to be long here. I think depending on maybe how you do your analysis or your thoughts and maybe Iran or the things that are going on in the Middle East, I am playing a little bit short here for oil. That's kind of my deal. So but I am long oil. I'm long in the big longer term picture, you know, maybe in the next 6 months or so. But that's really hard to even look that far out. Let's see what happens. Price will tell you. Price is king. Don't forget that. Price is king. Not news, nothing else. There's a good saying by Bernard Baruch that says, show me the charts and I'll tell you the news. We talked about it a little bit yesterday or the day before. Markets told you that Trump got elected way before the news and the outlet and media knew. So and it's usually like that. They usually take news and apply it to price as like justification. All right, let's go to gold, because gold is always awesome. Sorry, I need to learn to not hit the keyboard so hard when I'm doing that. All right, gold is trying to do this little rally. This could just be a little dead cat bounce. The only thing I do like is this candle down here. This little hammer doji, and it coincides with really, as we were talking about earlier, DMI being under 5. So that happening at the same time is nice. Actually, let's get off of gold. You can't see any volume. That sucks. Go to GC. These are the futures gold contracts. GC1 exclamation point. An exclamation point just means that it's the continuous contract, so you don't have to put in the date and month code and all that. So you can see there's some nice volume on that candle too, so you want to see that. This isn't the worst chart, but we are now battling on the 21 exponential. Let's see if we can get above the 21 exponential on a daily close. Sometimes even looking at gold on the weekly or the 3-day is better, because it's just such a slow mover. And if you look at those, we still are fairly bearish. So right now I'm just kind of, and not jump the gun, because if our friend over here, the dollar, if this continues its uptrend, which it kind of looks like it's going to, if we're holding all these support levels, especially if we hold about 93, 92, this is going to be murderous for gold. This could be something like the what do you say, the like the 2000s. I'll go ahead and show y'all real quick. Back in the day when the dollar got super, and there was like currency crises. So yeah, right here in the 90s. So they're kind of saying it kind of just started selling off, but in this time frame the dollar was just getting super powerful and got really powerful right towards the end of the .com bubble. And you can see what gold did. It just got mollywopped the whole time, but then stabilized while stocks started selling off. And so I'm wondering if we're going to see something similar to this. History does not repeat itself, but it does rhyme. So I do think with the currency crises looming, even Facebook and their recent, and not just Facebook, larger tech companies and bigger companies doing their reports for, excuse me, doing all their reports and earnings and stuff. This last time go around, a lot of them cited currency headwinds as issues of why they were lowering forecasts. So if you got big companies that are finally mentioning that in their forecast and lowering and reducing outlooks, you know, that's something to definitely take note of. The only thing that is kind of bullish right now on gold is this huge kind of like basing pattern. That was kind of a sloppy draw. There you go, something like that, right? And rounded bottoms are good. I talk about rounded tops all the time. Those are really bearish. Rounded bottoms are pretty good, but again, oops, we don't need to do that. Again, though, if we're not going to kind of, I just don't, the dollar scares me a little right now, so I'm not going to jump the gun on any currency or crypto. I'm sorry, man, I'm all over the place here. Any gold. All right, GDX is something that's interesting, though, to me, that it's sold off here. This is the Van Eck Gold Miners ETF. You can see it's like basing right here. So if you're an option seller, selling spreads down in here, or puts even, naked, if you like to do that, is probably not the worst thing, because at least you get credit over time. If you're familiar with options, you know you get paid the theta over time. Think of it kind of as like insurance. You get paid a little bit every day, and then you hope that you don't have to pay out at the end of the year, right? So that's just kind of my thing. I know options is a little bit further out. Most people don't speak of options in traditional markets. Just a little food for thought, something to play that has liquid options. All right, let's go to the Bitcoin for final thoughts, and then we're gonna wrap this up. Like I said, I'm about to go to a local meetup here in town. I really want to see the sentiment, see how excited people are. If this rally has got everybody's juices flowing again. I like to use that as an indicator a lot of times. Like the last time when I went, it was a couple weeks ago, price was really low, and there was only like, it usually has maybe 30, 40 people there. And it had it in the big hype, it had as much as like 100, 120. But now, the last time I went, there was like 11 people there, guys. It was crazy. It was crazy. All right, so kind of final thoughts. We are going up on this trend line nicely. It's been stabilizing, so that's a great sign. I'm still targeting. We've literally been targeting the mid 7,000s since I don't even remember now. Probably like here, it was somewhere around here, mid-August. So it looks like that's coming to fruition, guys. It's looking pretty nice. Be cautious here, though. We are out of this box, and we're probably going to be a little range bound in this area. This trend line cross also coincides with this medium term, and the farther longest term one isn't very far away from it either, the purple. And this is smack in the middle. Trend line crosses are really cool. You usually get formidable resistance or support at those levels. So that's what I'm playing for, guys, is that area. My stop now is going to be pretty much the top of this green box now. All right? And until I can see a daily below that, I'm not going to get too bearish by any means. So let's see if we can get some pumping action. And this should just raise the tide for all of these altcoin boats. So that's good news. I know everybody's a lot more excited. It's always nice to see crypto going up a little bit. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. It's been a pleasure. Again, this is Noiz Research with your host, Z-Rex. And I'm signing off today on this hot-ass day in Texas on August 28, 2018. Y'all have a great evening, and we will chat tomorrow, and I'll let y'all know about that sentiment at that meetup as well. Take care. Peace.